Welcome back to Apex Sci-Fi. When advanced civilizations explore the galaxy, they like to collect specimens. It's a polite word for kidnapping. They find a unique creature, put it in a high-tech glass box, and label it with a fancy Latin name so other aliens can stare at it while eating space popcorn. The Great Galactic Menagerie is the most famous zoo in the universe. It houses the Sun Eater from the Orion Nebula, the Invisible Stalker of Sector 4, and as of last Tuesday, a man named Bubba from the Florida Panhandle. The Zorgan zookeepers thought Bubba would be a fascinating study in primitive primate behavior. They expected him to huddle in the corner or perhaps throw rocks at the glass. They didn't expect him to be bored. And they certainly didn't expect him to look at the beast of the eternal void in the cage next door and think, "I bet I can teach that thing to sit." This is the story of why the most dangerous zoo in the galaxy had to shut down because one man treated an interdimensional nightmare like a stray dog. If you have ever seen a danger, do not touch sign and thought, well, maybe just once, smash that like button. And if you want to see an alien empire realize that a white plastic lawn chair is the ultimate weapon of psychological warfare, subscribe and ring the bell. Don't feed the humans. Bubba sat on the artificial grass of his containment unit, leaning against a fake plastic palm tree. He was wearing a shirt that said, "I'm with stupid," and was currently trying to use a piece of discarded wire to pick his teeth. "This place is okay," Bubba told the floating robot camera that followed him. "But the room service is terrible. And where's the NASCAR? You guys got any racing on that big screen up there?" The Zorgan scientists were taking notes. Subject appears to be demanding NASCAR. Possibly a primitive ritual or a battle cry. In the cell next to Bubba was the zoo's star attraction, the Xyloth Crusher. The Crusher was a 12-foot-tall nightmare with 6 arms, rows of serrated teeth, and a temper that had destroyed entire research stations. It had been in the zoo for 10 years, and no one had ever dared enter its cage. It spent its days roaring and trying to bite through the energy bars. Bubba, however, found the roaring annoying. It was interrupting his nap. "Hey, you purple guy with the too many arms," Bubba shouted, banging on the glass partition. "Pipe down. Some of us are trying to dream about bass fishing." The Crusher let out a roar that shook the entire facility. It lunged at the glass, its claws scraping against the reinforced surface. Bubba didn't flinch. He just sighed and reached into the recreation kit the aliens had given him. He pulled out a simple plastic spray bottle he had filled with water from his drinking fountain. "I warned ya," Bubba muttered. He walked over to the small maintenance hatch that connected the cells. The aliens usually used it to slide food through. Bubba was thin enough to squeeze through. The scientists in the observation room began to scream. "The human is committing suicide. Alert the cleaning droids. We are losing a specimen." Bubba popped out on the other side, right in the Crusher's territory. The beast stopped. It looked at Bubba. It had never seen a creature so small and so unbothered. It opened its massive maw to swallow Bubba whole. Squirt. Bubba hit the beast right in the eyes with a stream of water. "No. Bad monster," Bubba yelled. "We don't eat people." Down. The Crusher was stunned. It had survived plasma cannons and gravity grenades, but it had never been squirted. The sensation was confusing. The water was cold. And Bubba's voice was loud and annoying. The beast tried to roar again. "Squirt. Squirt. I said no." Bubba stepped forward, brandishing a white plastic lawn chair he had brought with him. He held the chair by the back, legs facing the monster. The scientists watched, frozen in horror. "He is using the 4-legged polymer shield technique," a scientist gasped. "It is a masterclass in psychological dominance." In reality, Bubba was just doing what he'd seen a lion tamer do at a circus in Pensacola. Every time the Crusher tried to move, Bubba shoved the chair toward its face and shouted, "Esai," or "Stay." After 20 minutes of being squirted with water and poked with a cheap lawn chair, the Xyloth Crusher, the most feared predator in the quadrant, did the unthinkable. It sat down. It looked at the floor. It let out a small, pathetic whimper. "There we go," Bubba said, patting the creature's giant, scaly head. "You ain't so bad. You're just a big, ugly puppy, ain't ya? I'm gonna call you Sparky." Sparky nuzzled Bubba's hand. The void hate in its eyes was replaced by a desperate need for approval. The next day, the zookeepers found Bubba sitting on Sparky's back like it was a recliner. Sparky was currently using its 6 arms to give Bubba a full-body massage. When a group of alien tourists passed by the glass, Bubba stood up. "Hey, 5 credits for a photo with the beast," Bubba shouted, holding up a small bucket. 10 credits if you want to see him do a backflip. Don't be shy, he won't bite, Unless I tell him to. The aliens were confused, but they were also fascinated. They started throwing energy credits into Bubba's bucket. Bubba used the money to bribe the robot guards to bring him cold beer and a better brand of beef jerky. Within a month, Bubba had tamed half the zoo. He had the Sun Eater playing fetch with a meteor. He had the invisible stalker doing his laundry. He even convinced the sentient fog to help him keep the flies away. The head zookeeper eventually had to release Bubba. Please, the zookeeper begged. Take your Sparky and leave. You are ruining our reputation. We are a place of science, not a backyard circus. The other animals won't even growl at the tourists anymore. They just wait for you to bring them snacks. Bubba was beamed back to Florida, right onto his airboat in the Everglades. But he wasn't alone. Through a massive error in the teleportation coordinates, Sparky was sent with him. Well, buddy, Bubba said, looking at the 12-foot-tall monster standing in the swamp, the neighbors are gonna love you. Just stay away from the mailman, okay? Sparky let out a happy chuff and immediately began wrestling a nearby alligator. It was the start of a beautiful friendship. This has been Apex Sci-Fi. The galaxy has millions of species, but only one of them thinks a spray bottle is more powerful than a god. If you think Bubba would survive an alien invasion with just a lawn chair, hit that like button. Comment below. What would you name a 12-foot space monster if it was your pet? Subscribe. And remember, if it growls at you, just say "no" very loudly. Zoo is closed.